So I already have a Revit project open and I've loaded the MyCAD window families. So let's take a quick look at each of the families. So there's 5 families in the library: a single unit, double, triple, and quad. 1, 2, 3, 4 units. And then a manual design unit. So let's take a look at all the parameters that are available. I'm going to do all the work with this 4 unit family. We haven't added any new instance parameters. All the parameters we added are type parameters. So when you need a new variation, you'll go to Edit Type. And if you don't want to just modify the one on screen, you make a duplicate and give it a new name. So let's first look at the visibility parameter. So I'll scroll way down to the bottom. I'm currently looking at the exterior of the window, and you'll notice the window here, it has a continuous trim going all the way around. The trim dimension is controlled by parameters. We'll talk about those in a little bit. I can turn off that exterior trim and instead turn on an exterior sill and an exterior header, and I'll click OK so you can get a clearer look of that on the screen. Right, so we have those exterior parameters. There's also the same sort of parameters on the inside. You can see that there's casing going all the way around this window, whereas some of the other ones have a sill and an apron and the casing on 3 sides. So if I click on the window, go to Edit Type, you'll see all those parameters down in this visibility section. So show interior casing surround, it's already showing that all the way around the perimeter. If I turn on the sill, casing at 3 sides, and interior apron instead, I'll click OK. You can see that the components are swapped out accordingly. Right, so we've got a lot of visibility parameters that we can turn on and off, including these options here called Show Lower Mullion and Show Upper Mullion. If you'll notice, the other window units don't have the horizontal mullions, but this one does, and you can turn them on and off with these checkboxes. So obviously upper and lower, lower and upper, click OK, and you can turn those on or off. So those are the visibility parameters. We obviously have a lot of dimensional parameters to go along with those. So let me start looking at each of those. So the first section towards the top, this dimension section, the overall unit height and the overall unit width are found right there. The mullion positions are all found right here. Left mullion position, center mullion, offset, right mullion position, and the upper and lower mullion positions are all found on these 5 lines right here. Now currently the vertical mullions are equally spaced because of this checkbox. If I uncheck that, that's when the left, center, and right mullion positions take effect. So if I click Apply, you'll see the spacings update on screen. So obviously you can type in new values there. And as you can see, you can even offset the center mullion. If I click Apply, you'll see that one shift off to the side. And let me put it back to where it was before. And then obviously upper and lower mullion positions, if I change both of those values to 2, you'll see those update on screen. Well, provided of course I go back here and I turn them back on. So let me hit Apply and you'll see those reappear at their correct heights. So we've got the overall widths, heights, and all the different mullion positions, and this button here allows you to equally space the mullions very easily. There's also parameters for the frame. So there's a frame depth, a frame width parameter. So if I make the frame depth a little bit wider, it'll probably be kind of hard to see that here in the 3D view. So let me switch over to a plan view and zoom in. So we're talking about this parameter right here, the depth of the frame. So not only can you control that depth, you can also control how far the frame gets pushed back into the wall, and you can also control the appearance of the glass and where the glass is positioned. If I change the level of detail here and turn on the line weight, you can see that there's the line for the glass there. So let me go to Edit Type and scroll down on the list. So I was talking about frame depth, frame width. Let me just make that larger so you can see. Now I have a 3-inch frame at the perimeter. I still have 2-inch mullions. Oh, there's the parameter for that right there. I'll make those 3 inches as well. And then there's this parameter called inset from wall face. So this is the one that pushes the whole frame back into the thickness of the wall. There you can see it move back. And there's also a parameter here for the position of the glass within the frame. So lots of dimensional controls for you there. Let me put those back to where they were before. So in addition to those overall kind of unit parameters, there are also additional dimensional parameters for the trims, the sills, and the casing. So interior sill extension, interior casing width, interior apron height, the header extension length. Let me show you what that one does. I'll make that 8 inches and I'll click OK. And I'll switch back to my 3D view and spin around to the outside. So the header extension, so there's a header extension, there's also a sill extension. This is the header height, there's a sill height. So all those different parts of the window all have dimensional parameters, so you can tweak them to whatever setting that you like. So in addition to all these dimensional parameters, we also have some material parameters. So material parameters for the interior and exterior trims and sills, for the headers, the glass, the frame, all those material parameters are available so you can get the shaded color correct in your project. So that's a look at the parameters for the 1, 2, 3, and 4 unit. The manual spacing unit was designed a little bit differently. If the rules built into these windows don't give you enough flexibility for getting the mullions and window configured the way you want, we thought that this one may help you along. So to use this particular family, you will have to use the edit family function. So if I wanted to add an additional vertical mullion there and another horizontal mullion, maybe reposition some of these, the process would be clicking on that window family and then using the edit family button, which opens everything up into the family editor environment. Now this has lots of different views and you can look at the window from different points of view, but I think the best way to work on this is just go to an exterior view and you can start to move these objects around. So if I simply wanted to reposition this mullion, you just click on it, use the move tool and reposition it where you want. If you want another one similar to that, use the copy tool and copy that to the new location. And I'll make another copy of this one here. So this gives you the flexibility to design the window however you want it to look. And the one last thing that you have to do after you make these copies is merge these mullions into the other objects that were already there. And you use the join geometry tool to make that happen. I'll join that geometry and I'll join that geometry. And with all those changes made, you just click on the Load Into Project button. I'm going to overwrite the one that's there, and the updates are made to that particular window. So that is a look at the MyCAD window library. Thanks for watching.